All right, we want to solve this equation. So notice that you have variables on both sides of the equation, and you also have constants on both sides of the equation. In one fell swoop, I'm going to add something to both sides, so there are only going to be variables on one side and constants on the other side. So let's say I want to keep my variables on this side. So I want to keep my 15x there. So I say on the right-hand side I have a positive 4x. If I subtract 4x from both sides, now all my variables will be on the right-hand side. Okay, now similarly, I have this constant of 20 on the right-hand side. So I want to keep the constant on the right-hand side, so we don't want this minus 8 on the left, so I'm going to add 8 to both sides. So what I'm doing is I'm adding a negative 4x plus 8 to both sides of the equation. You could take 2 steps to do this. First, subtract 4x from both sides and see what you get, and then in the next step, add 8 to both sides, but you could also do it all at once. So on the left-hand side, I have 15x minus 4x, which is going to be 11x. That's plus 0, so I don't need to write that. And on the right-hand side, I have 20 plus 8, which is 28. So the last step, we'll just divide both sides by 11. And our answer is x equals 28/11. So that's the answer. That's what x equals. Now the only way you're sure that's correct is you would actually have to plug in 28/11ths into the original equation and make sure it's true. So why don't you try doing that? You have to be careful with your fractions and then look at how that would look. I'll just show the steps. So to check our answer, we're going to plug in 28/11ths for x into the original equation and make sure the left-hand side and right-hand side simplify to the exact same number. So as you see, I've put in 28/11ths for x. Now, I know I'm going to have to multiply 15 times 28, and that'll be over 11. And notice I'll have to get a common denominator here in order to add it or subtract. So let's see what that would be. All right, so 15 times 28 is 420 over 11, and then minus 8 times 11 over 11 will be 88/11ths. And when I subtract, I get 332/11ths on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, I have to do the 4 times 28, which is 112 all over 11, plus 20 times 11 will give me the 220 in the numerator, so 220 over 11. And that also adds up to 332 over 11. So that's what your check would look like, and that means our solution is the number 28/11ths. No need to change that to a mixed number.